another adventure with the Blue Meteor. This time we're going down to the borders for a few days. We're meeting up with the Royal Enfield owners again for their camping weekend and should be away for about 5 days. This is actually day 2. Day 1 didn't go quite to plan. Let me explain. I had been very organised. I'd got everything packed up the night before. I'd made sure everything was charged up and ready to go. So come morning, it was just a matter of putting everything onto the bike and setting off. Now I decided not to start any filming until I reached Avonmore, and that's when things started to go astray. You see, I use a DJI camera and a DJI wireless microphone system, and when I got everything out, the mics weren't working. There was no lights on anything, not on the mics, not on the receiver, charging case, nothing. It was dead as a dodo. There was nothing I could do but plug them into the USB on the bike and hopefully get some charge in them for later on that day, and then just set off without them. Now the problem with filming on a motorbike is that if you rely on the microphones that are built into the cameras, then once you get above about 15-20 miles an hour, the only thing they pick up is wind noise. The plan was to try and avoid using roads like the A9 whenever possible. So I would be using the old roads, which in this instance, they run parallel to the A9 most of the way down to Crieff. From there I would go across to Lagan and then double back down to Dalwhinnie. Once you pass the distillery at Dalwhinnie, you don't have any other choice other than to join the A9 for a short stretch of about 10 or 12 miles, which the little Meteor coped with quite well, travelling at 60 miles an hour with everyone else, until we reached the turn-off for Tinderford. Once off the A9, I checked the mics again. Still nothing. They didn't even appear to be taking a charge. And thinking about it, I think I'd slipped up the night before when I was charging everything up. I'd charged it on a fast charger, and they're not designed for a fast charge. I could have damaged something in them. Oh well. We'll press on through some beautiful countryside. This is Loch Tay and the small town of Kenmore. It's a very popular place with water sport enthusiasts and can often be very busy throughout the summer, though fortunately not so today. We pass through and are heading up and over the hills in front. Here is a lot steeper than it appears. Action cameras have a tendency to flatten things out. It also has some very sharp hairpin bends with some quite interesting cambers. That can be very challenging at times, especially when centre of gravity and low sea tide, where I could quite easily get a foot down, sort myself out, and then set off again comfortably. Had I been on a large, top-heavy, long-legged adventure bike, things could have easily turned out quite differently. Fortunately, the rest of the climb was far less eventful, and it did produce some spectacular views. Once we'd gone over the top and started the descent on the other side, the views were really incredible. The rest of the day was spent riding along some fabulous roads with hardly any traffic and through some stunning scenery. Sadly, the vast majority of the video footage is practically useless due to me messing up the audio. When I reached the night's accommodation, I was able to put everything back on charge again. I was careful to put the mics on a more sensible charger, and they did appear to be taking the charge then. The following morning, they still didn't want to work properly to start off with. But fortunately, by mid-morning, they seemed to have sorted themselves out. So there we are. That was the first day. Hopefully, for the rest of the trip, we can get some better audio recordings to do justice to this fabulous countryside and the incredible